Hello and welcome to my channel. I have tea today, not coffee, because it is evening. I thought all I needed to do of my mass market decks, oh, by the way, this is part 3 of, wow, you have a lot of decks. And I thought all I had left was this basket and this here box, but then I found some larger decks that were scattered about. So let's look at those first. Oh, I actually want to update you. After the last one, when we looked at the Bohemian Animal that I thought I was going to get rid of, definitely not. I have edged it and very happy with that. So that's good. And I remembered I had looked for contact paper because Johnnicky from Catamancy Tarot has rebacked several decks with contact paper. And I have forgot that. I was like, oh, let me look. And I looked at one place, two places. They didn't have anything cute, and then I forgot that project. So I just ordered contact paper so I can reback these and yes, use this deck because it's beautiful. I just don't like the cardstock. So that's exciting. And I have a new project. All right, new decks. This is pretty new to my life. Ed Byrne made the William Blake Tarot. So William Blake himself did not make a tarot back in 1780 whatever. Let's see. William Blake. I kind of got into a William Blake thing. Yeah, he was born 1757 and perished in 1827. This is, I wrote out one of his poems, The Tiger. Blake was a character. He was, he had visions since he was a child of seeing angels and God. So I haven't really started working with this deck yet, but I am going to use it for creative work. Even if I am going to use the whole deck, but after a while, I'm just wondering about it. But if nothing else, I think I'm going to like the whole deck. I do believe I'm going to like it. But if nothing else, I love the majors. So I would use this as a majors only deck if I didn't like the other cards. There's one card that really gives me pause in here. But I love this so much. Oh, it speaks to me. I started listening to an audiobook about William Blake, his biography. He's just an interesting character. He was not afraid to talk to people about spirituality, and he was not embarrassed at all about how poor he was. But you know, he was a printer, and his wife was his like coworker and worked with him and printed with him, and he did a lot of things by hand. And so Ed Byrne, this is the 3rd edition. It's the illuminated edition. So he made like colors brighter and made some changes to William Blake's work just to make it more contemporary. And I love it. And I don't think William Blake would have disliked it because I think there's 20 or 21 copies that he did by hand of the tiger, and he changed it all the time. He would use different colors. So I don't think he was afraid of that. I don't think he would have been offended by the changes made, but I just think I don't know, it's just something special. I don't know. I feel like I time travel, I guess, when I look at this. So I love the font. This is an extra card. Yeah, so I'm curious to learn more about William Blake and to start using this for some creative work. I got this in December. It is the largest deck I have. It is so crazy large. Okay, I have to do this. Let's see. This is my tiniest here. This is so sick. I did actually trim this down a tiny bit, but I couldn't lose a lot of the art. Oh, it's called the Alchemical Visions Tarot, and I saw it on somebody's channel. And again, it's this black and white stuff going on with some color. It reminds me of the Ritual Tarot, which I don't have, and I thought, I don't want the Ritual Tarot until I did want the Ritual Tarot, and now it's like unavailable. I know it's going to be available again, I assume. But I just thought this would work for me to scratch my itch, or at least have some fun. So using the book, there's a lot of information in the book, and some of it makes me go, all right, but I believe in taking what resonates and leaving what doesn't. So I am curious and like really kind of digging it. And it goes with a couple decks that I wasn't using that I should be using, that I want to be using. The Shirming Veil and this go really well together. And the Circle of Doors and this go really well together. So yeah, it's a little weird. And I don't mind it. Oh my goodness. Oh, when the blue is there, it's so beautiful. But yeah, it is ginormous. But I figured I would be kind of using it like an oracle card, like I do with a tarot in the middle and then 2 other cards from another deck on either side of it. But yeah, I kind of dig it. It's so weird. Look at that ace. It is beautiful. I'm sorry, so shiny. So yeah, the Alchemical Visions Tarot. Yep, I'm gonna give it a whirl. If I can pick it up. So I trimmed it down. I took 9 millimeters off of it. I took like 5 off one side and 4 off the other side just to make it a little bit more manageable. At least I can get it in my hand now. And I couldn't before, so it does shuffle. Kind of shuffles. Alchemical Visions Tarot. How did I miss it on the shelf? I don't know. Okay, the Witch Sisters I missed because it is in my monthly envelopes right now. So this is what I keep the Witch Sisters in. I have edged mine in this green. I am not looking at this deck at all because right now I still have 11 envelopes. So there's 22 cards that are out of the deck and I don't want to see what's left. But for my January, I had pulled just like for cards of the year, I took all the majors out of a deck and I took all the quartz out of the same deck and chose one from each pile and for an energy to get me like through this year. And I pulled the Magician and the King of Pentacles. So, and then for this reading, my monthly reading, I got the King of Stones and I love this. He heralds a maturing of our own sovereignty and strength. Love that. I got that with Pachamama and Isis, and a card about restoration. What else did I get? It was a 10 of trees. 10 of trees. The 10 brings transcendence, and we may not be able to see clearly yet what lies ahead, but we know we have the strength to greet it wholeheartedly. That's how I'm feeling right about now. Okay. So yeah, Witch Sister, I am really enjoying this. I'm glad I used this deck so that my monthly decks would be, you know, kind of a deep dive for the oracles and for this. And then I forgot this deck because it was downstairs waiting for its new bag to be sewn. I had like 6 bags to get done. I only got 5 done like in one chunk, and this was the last one left. So this is my trimmed Tarot of the She. Another one I kind of regret taking the borders off, but I got this very early on my tarot journey, and there were different suit names. So there are dancers and makers and warriors and dreamers. So like air is dreamers. And it was just too much information for me. I liked the keywords and phrases at the bottom, so I decided to keep that at the bottom, and then the majors have that at the bottom, and what I cut off the top was the Roman numeral. If you're going to do this, just know ahead of time that the phrases are not in the book. You have to write them down. So I went through, before I cut off the titles, what the keyword at the bottom was that matched up with it. So just be aware that is. I do like that all the court cards are gifts. So there's like gift of telling, gift of wisdom. All the aces are the element itself. I really love it. So I haven't been using this. I had it in a really kind of ugly bag. The material was like perfect. It was lots of this orange and red, but I didn't like it, so I never grabbed it. So I've made it this purple because there is also a lot of like deep purples in this deck. And yeah, I have realized that I need more fire in my life, and I think this is a deck that is going to help me just get moving. Action. Lights, camera, action. I forgot my Dark Goddess Tarot because it lives on my altar space away from most of the other tarot decks. And typically, I don't really use it a lot because typically the Black Madonna just lives on some altar space. But again, I'm looking for some fire. So I pulled Bridget out, and because the Magician, both the Magician is a card of the year for me, and Isis is what I pulled out of the Black Madonna out of my monthly cards. So I pulled these guys out and have them on my altar right now. So yeah, I don't really use it too often as a tarot because right now they're just, somebody's always living on the altar space. But when I do use it, I typically just pull one card from here and learn about that energy, and love the book. I love how you learn a little bit about them. You get the pictures in here, and then like when they appear, what's happening. Like, it's just typically a really good reading. Okay, now we can get into the baskets. Oh, I should be pulling some people out of the basket. I should be pulling some people out of the baskets. Okay, this is not normally in this basket because it lives on my little shelf that has oracles. Because right now I am using it with the Citadel. Is that what it's called? Yes, the Citadel. So I use this in the Citadel as a writing prompt. I just started this practice for a short writing exercise, like just to get me to write 200 words a day. So yeah, I like it. Everyone has seen this deck. And right now I actually have her, this came with 2 of Pamela Coleman Smith's art cards that weren't related to tarot, but I have one in as the 6 of Cups and another in as the Lovers, just in the deck. So we're gonna try that out. I like it. I like this version. And okay, now I can go back on its oracle shelf where it belongs. Okay, in the basket, this is the Tarot of the Cat People, which we already looked at. And this is Tarot of the Magical Forest, which we already looked at. This is an indie. This is an indie oracle. This is an indie oracle, so we'll look at those another time. So now we've got 5 of this size. I call this basket, this is my littles. Let me get everybody out. Okay. I have a trimmed down version of Antique Anatomy and a trimmed down version of the Hush Tarot. I hadn't meant to do this exactly with this. When I first got Antique Anatomy, there's a lot of white space around the art, and I just wanted, it was hard to shuffle. I wanted to make it a little easier to shuffle. I took off that white space and hated it. I had left the titles at the bottom. And then when I trimmed this down, I pulled this out and cut off the titles, and I love them together. They're like a team. Yeah, I dig them together. I pretty much use these occasionally with other decks, but they're nearly exclusive. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why I love these two together so much, but I do. So, the littles. I have my trimmed version of the Dreaming Way, which I just love their outfits. I think Dreaming Way is a perfect name for it. A lot of people don't like the backs, but I see this as like the Matrix, but more biological. You know, the computer screens, how they have, I think it totally works for a dream. How are you programming yourself to dream? But they're beautiful. Sometimes I regret cutting the borders off, but then I get over that because I love it like this. And if I can not see a copyright, that makes me happy. Dreaming Way sometimes gets used with this Tarot de Carlotides. That was the last card I pulled with this. Beautiful backs. Really adorable. I wish I could get like a larger deck. I really love the art. I think it's beautiful. I can't really see any of this stuff without my reading glasses on anyway, so I have to put them on anyway, but if it was bigger, I'd still need my reading glasses, but I would like it more. But I think it's beautiful and sweet. Oh, just love this. Princess and the Pea and Alice in Wonderland all at the same time. Gorgeous. Yeah, this is just a sweet one. Another sweet little one is the Zerner Farber, which is also called, oh my gosh, the Enchanted Forest, maybe? It's this embroidered art. It's another one that's a little small for my eyeballs. I had actually ordered it under the other name. I think it's Enchanted Forest or something. And it was huge, but most of it was border, and I did not like the coloration. I didn't even open it. It was wrapped in plastic, but just the Fool card, I didn't care for the coloration. And then I realized I could order the Zerner Farber, and it comes with gold gilding, and yeah, it's tiny, but it's so pretty. It's so smart and creative. I could see using this as like a grandma deck. Yeah, I love it. All right, those were my littles. Okay, now I have my little box of little littles. They have the littles and we have the little littles. And these are all ones I have trimmed down to make really small for backpacking. And this is my RWS. And then I have ones that are, you know, tarots in tins. So we already looked at Morgan Greer twice. We looked at the Wild Unknown. Vanessa Tarot, she was on the chopping block. I need to take all these guys out of their stuff though. But she was on the chopping block, and then I pulled it out again, and I'm like, dang it, she reads good every time. I can't fault her for me not grabbing her. So that one's staying. All right, let me get everybody ready. This is the Zillich Tarot, which was in my top 20. So we already looked at this one. It's my trimmed down one with no keywords and titles. So Vanessa was on the chopping block, and then I was like, all right, let me look at it. And it's just so fun. I get such good readings out of this. This should be in my good mood deck pile for sure. It's so, I I don't know. Something about it is like so not me. And I love it. I'm not fashionable like this deck is. Yeah. Vanessa Tarot, super cute. I need to pull it out and use it more. This is definitely like a summery deck to me. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that was a thing for me, but evidently it is. So, Vanessa Tarot. Super cute. Come on. All right, yeah, this needs to get taken out more. This one I have not really worked with at all. I played with it a few times. It's super cute. It's the only Marseille I have. I have joined Lisa Pepez's deck review, whatever deep dive thing we're doing. So I will be learning how to use Marseille, I guess, a little bit more with that. It's super cute. The problem for me was that the keywords are in this pink that I find very difficult to see. So it kind of just made me mad. But I'm gonna get over that because it's adorable. So yeah, I will definitely be playing with this for February and March. This is so adorable. And I love the pink. No, we looked at the Morgan Greer twice, but this Morgan Greer is in a relationship with my Llewellyn. I still really love them together for like maternal paternal energy. So beautiful. Okay, we're gonna, oh, it's just gorgeous. So yeah, my Llewellyn trimmed down to just the art and the normal pocket Morgan Greer. This is the only light seers that I have left. I had one that I chopped it down just to the art. It was the full size that I kind of made a pocket size before they had a pocket size. I had a full size that all I did was edge the sides, and that is in the donation box. I had one that I cut down that I had a few decks that I cut down that I felt like nobody was going to want because when I took all the titles off of them. So I did toss a couple decks. I feel bad about it, but that's how it is. I love it. This is my version of this deck because it goes camping. She is one of my favorite Queen of Wands ever. So I did trim a lot of the titles of this, but I mean, it's so RWS. I know what they are. I didn't mind that some of them have titles and some of them don't, because for me it was about if there was space under here that I could cut off and leave that versus cutting off her hands, then that's what I did. That doesn't make sense, but sometimes I wasn't going to cut the treasure chest off to get rid of the 9 of Cups and leave all this empty space up here. So that one of my favorite 4s. I have a new favorite 4, but this 4 of Swords, but this was like my first favorite 4 of Swords. So yeah, I have the teeny tiny version that I made and edged and loved. This little pocket Tarot de Santa Muerta, I edged it in this beautiful blue that goes with the backs. I had this in the full size and I loved it. I have no connection to this ancestry, but bones, to me, it doesn't matter. I feel it. The big deck doesn't really talk to me anymore. So I am passing that one on and just keeping my little pocket size that it had a border around it that I cut off. I left the titles on this version. I think these are Los Scarabeo decks. And the Radiant Wise Smith Tarot, I took the white border off. So this one's a little smaller than this one because they were the same size. Am I right? Yes, but this had titles on the bottom that I took off. So this is titleless, this is not, but they're both teeny tiny. Beautiful green edging. If I could only have one RWS, this would be the version. I think I have 3 now. Yeah, I have 3, but this would be the one if I only had one. This, oh my god, what is it called? White Sage Tarot. This is the White Sage Tarot. And I trimmed it down to just the art and edged it in this teal color. And this little softie, I love taking on trail. It was a gift from my daughter. I actually had this deck and rehomed it. I'm like, I really wanted it to work for me, but it doesn't seem to be working for me. And then my daughter gave it to me and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make it work for me. And I love it so much, I'm glad I did. The pages have a yellow background, so that makes that obvious. All the knights have like a helmet, or the Knight of Swords doesn't have a helmet because she is a lioness. But she just still looks like a warrior. Death. So it's a pip, as long as I almost cut off that 4th sword, but it's an easy reader. There's page because it's yellow in the back. I love the chakra influence in the deck. Yeah, it's a cutie. It's a good reader. And then one more. This is my last mass market tarot deck. This is the little Thoth I bought while I was on trail. Was it then? I want to make this. Okay. Yes. I got off trail in the Smokies because it was so freezing cold. I thought I was going to just hike right through the Smokies nonstop. I took 4 days off because it was so cold and there was so much ice, and I didn't have the micro spikes to put on my shoes. So this was the smallest deck available at the little shop that I went to with my daughter in Asheville. And that is the reason I bought this little Thoth. I'm gonna show you the reading. So I had a time on trail. Let's look at some other cards. I had a time on trail when I'm a very slow hiker. You know, I hiked the trail through my 50th year. I struggle to breathe, so that makes me slow. Even once I was conditioned and had really good muscles, I went a little faster, but I never got huge miles like some people do on the Appalachian Trail, just because I can't breathe and I can't go fast enough. So even when I'm day hiking and I don't have 30 pounds on my back, I'm still, 2 miles an hour, maybe, I'm just a slow hiker. So 1.5 miles an hour. Some sections I only did like 1 mile an hour, but I got it done. But I still wanted to try to push myself. So there were days when I had like 20-mile days. And one goal that I really wanted to try and hit was to do my first marathon. I've done tons of half marathons, but never, like not on trail, just in regular life. I have not done a full marathon. I've done, 4 to 6 half marathons, some of them trail half marathons, some of them road half marathons. But that's only 13 point whatever miles. I wanted to do 26.2. 13.1 is half, right? So I wanted to do a full marathon with my pack. So I thought I could do it. Maybe. I was really struggling over it. And so I asked the cards like the day before, a couple days I was leaving out, and it would be me being out on trail for a few days without resupplying my food. And then the goal was to hike for a few days, eat a few days worth of food. And once I had just like a day and a half's worth of food, to do that marathon day. So I was at a hostel and I'm in a very comfortable bed, and I asked the cards, should I do this marathon? And I got the 2 of Swords, like, make a decision that you're going to be at peace with. So I read that. And sometimes, you kind of just know where to put the cards, even though I just knew that went there, right? So it was, you have dominion over your decision. And then I knew I was going to put 1 card here and 1 card here. And to me, this said, you have two options. You could just enjoy your day like normal and stop and watch the butterflies and the snails and whatever you want to watch. You can really have a beautiful day and still get good miles in. Or you can aim for futility because you're not going to get 26.2 miles. So yeah, this is another one that I could use a little bit more. So I want to actually sit down with the Zilch in order and this in order together. And because I see as I'm looking through it, I'm like, oh, Zilch she did go for this in her own abstract way of it. So yeah, I'd like to play with those together maybe more. So that is it. Those were my littles, and the forgotten decks that go in other places. And then next I'm going to be doing my indie collection and then my oracle collection and then do other things. All right, thanks for coming on by and looking at some cards with me. Have a great day.